Afternoon, guys. So we are starting our series on apologetics. So I wanted to give you my philosophy on apologetics. So let me start by asking, what if Christianity is true? What if God exists? What if Jesus really did die on a cross for our sins? What if Jesus really gave the Great Commission and we are called to go out to the ends of the earth as missionaries, as ambassadors? What if all of this is true? Well, my philosophy on apologetics assumes all of that is true. Jesus saved me, so why would I pretend that he's anything less than the capital T truth? I call this approach a gentle presuppositionalism. Let me tell you what all of that means. So we're using some big words. Apologetics. What does apologetics mean? Well, big word, simple meaning. It's really what Peter was talking about whenever he said always being ready to give an answer. Apologetics simply seeks to make sense of our faith to the unbelieving world. We are explaining it to them, and we're showing them how it makes sense of everything, that it's the truth. Then you say, well, presuppositionalism, even bigger word. And what do I mean by that? Well, we all start somewhere. We have biases. We have things that we take for granted before we answer any questions. You see all the political debates. One of the reasons that we talk past each other so often is because we have different starting points. We have different presuppositions. And unless we're clear about what those are, it can be hard to express what we really mean. Now, what is my presupposition? What do I assume when I go to answer these questions? Well, I take the gospel for granted. I'm going to start with Jesus. So you have a New Age pagan who works in the office next to you. You guys are going to have some neat conversations. I'm going to start with Jesus. You have a Jehovah's Witness that moves in next door to you. He has a weird Bible. He has weird ideas about religion. I'm going to start with Jesus. There is a militant, raging atheist who won't leave you alone on Facebook. I'm going to start with Jesus in my conversations. Presuppositionalism, I think you're going to like this for at least 3 reasons. The first reason is it keeps you out of the hot seat. Any question or challenge that somebody raises against your faith can and should be turned against them. They have to answer the same questions based on their worldview. And you're going to find that only Christianity has the stuff to answer the hardest questions. The second thing is it's honest. In 2020, there's probably nothing more important that you can be than authentic. Everybody wants to be authentic. Well, this is an authentic approach. If Jesus really did raise from the dead and save us from our sins, then what other way would we be? How was Paul? How was John? How was Peter? They started with Jesus. The last thing is it really links in with what we were doing with evangelism. This approach is always one breath away from a gospel presentation. When we're talking about Jesus, when we're presupposing Christianity, the Bible, then our next sentence can always be the gospel. If I start with, does God exist? Do I start with that? It could be months before I ever get around to telling them what the real good news is. No, I want to be right there. So in the next month, we're going to look at a number of things. I'm going to show you what this looks like in real conversations that you might even be having. We'll look at some of the evidentialist arguments. We're going to look at the classical arguments for the existence of God. We're going to look at the resurrection, defending the Bible, some of the challenges that you are likely already seeing, and I'm going to show you how to approach those, but gentle presuppositionalism, the ambassador approach.